What's up, everybody, and welcome to the ninth episode of the All About Life podcast. So I don't know if I probably told y'all yet, probably because I probably thought I did, but I take off for holidays. So don't even worry about like where I be. Just know if it's a holiday, you're not gonna see me. I'm taking full advantage of that shit every time. And it was Memorial Weekend. The finals was going on. It wasn't nowhere. My ass wasn't going to the about to get on here. But I'm back this week, and I guess what I really wanted to talk about this week, because I don't know if it's gonna be the future, but right now it's something that's really interesting and it's growing as a community. And I wanted to talk about like the metaverse and virtual reality, because I don't own a VR. I'm not one of them hype beasts that like, this shit is the future, man. Like, I genuinely don't. I look, like, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Like, I just think it's interesting because so many people are doing it. And people are using it in different ways. And so, actually, for me, I'm an open-minded nigga. I think a lot of shit is interesting, as y'all already know. And so, like, especially for, I guess you could say, our culture from Western, like, hemisphere culture, like U.S., Canada, England, all of us, and you know, Mexico and them niggas too. Like, we all have a fascination with virtual reality instead of reality. Like I feel like the East, they deal with like reality as it is, and that's it. Like, and the extra shit is whatever. But for us, we like to fantasize about a different world, like, all the time. Like, niggas always want to go to space. You know, people just want to do different stuff. And virtual reality is no different, because they always creating and expanding. And it's been something of a thing in our society for the last, like, probably I would say 20 years, like cyberpunk, like a bunch of shit where people are going into these like, even movies where people go into these virtual realities and they're just different people. And you know, like, back then it was like a dream and shit, but now since they actually have these VR headsets, and they kind of affordable too, like, them bitches, like, they're not like crazy expensive. Let me look. So an Oculus is about $300. That's not bad. That's not bad because it probably would have been like $1,000 5 years ago type shit. Like, these type of technologies are, since they're so new and there's not a lot of them, it's gonna come at a cost, right? And you know, since now it's being able to be commercialized with more people doing VR, they've become a little more affordable. And they've become better quality too. So you can stay in there longer. The interaction is better. Like, you could talk to motherfuckers. Like, you could actually just go in there and have like a different life, right? Like, even beyond just the VR stuff, you can now, in VR, I'm gonna get into it, but you can buy property. You can do so many things now in this world that's not our world. Like, it's an entirely different place. You can bring your personality and stuff like that, but how you are in real life don't matter on this. From what I see, because I don't own it. I don't particularly own one, but I know people who have it, and I watch VR videos on like YouTube and stuff as well. I guess it's funny to me sometimes, and I guess, like, you gotta wonder, like, is this gonna be the wave of the future? Is this something that, like, because it's becoming more and more affordable, and I feel like I done came in here before and talked about this. I think it was the first podcast, that people are growing a lot more and more discontent with their lives, like their real physical self lives. Like, a lot of us aren't getting paid. We busting our asses, and you know, you're not really doing shit. Like, you're not progressing because there's so many people trying to progress at once in your field or at your job, or your managers are stupid, or even if it's not work, it's just like life. Like you don't get the girls, or you don't get the guys, or you know what I'm saying, you don't have friends. Life is, people are becoming discontent, and they're seeing this virtual reality as a different, like, as a new way, like an alternative. It's so serious, people are investing real money beyond just the headset, right? So like that's my first, like, I guess my first point of interest in this is essentially you can buy houses and property and real estate in the virtual world, like in the metaverse. So it's not just like you going into chat rooms now. Like you can own your own shit. You can own your own property. You can and on top of being able to do that, it's it's less expensive to own property in virtual reality. Obviously, I guess it's kind of, but it's less than it is, right, in real life. Like even if you buy, like, let's say like a house or a mansion, like a chat mansion, and it's like a really nice, like, real place, and it's really nice and shit. Like you use it for your own, like, I guess, like pad, or like your house, your virtual home. You can spend 13,000 for like a mansion. That's the average. It used to be like less than 1,000, like 5 years ago, to buy property. But since it's becoming more and more popular, the actual price is going up. So it costs less to do it, right? You can refurbish it to how you want. However you want, you can change your chat, your property, it's not just a house when you think about it, but that's what I mean. That's just what I'm saying. Like it's like virtual property. You can do whatever you want with it. It's just it's so many options. So it's just so much shit in that field that you like it. It sounds like I'm losing it, but it's just like I'm thinking about it right now, and I can't stop thinking about, like, you could do, like I said, you could do chat rooms, you could do businesses there, you could do whatever you want in a VR and make money out of it. You can make money there, you could do whatever you want, and that property is just an investment. It's like an NFT. That's essentially what I guess I'm trying to get at. Like, you can buy virtual NFTs, things of that nature, property that you own in the metaverse that nobody else can own. Nobody else has the owner's rights to it. I mean, I don't understand fully, like, NFT pictures and shit like that. Like, I know Seth Green just got robbed of his NFT for like $30,000 or $60,000 or some shit like that. But I don't understand all that. But I do understand that you can own property there, right? And so I feel like because of that shit, people have a better time there. You just have a better time in virtual reality than real life. Like, you don't gotta physically walk nowhere. You can just kind of use your little mouse or whatever. Like, you can touch. You don't have to feel, but you can touch stuff. Like, you can move your virtual arms. Like, I've seen videos where people are like literally grabbing on the other people's virtual faces and shit. Like, they're like grip palming these niggas' faces, and it's so different now. It's so advanced. Like, you can tell people are taking their genuine time to create this because they want it to be here for a long time, not just a good time. I think a lot of this is it. I guess it might be the future. I don't know how plausible it can be. I don't know how. To me, it's improbable. I'll get into that later. But with all this stuff that you can buy in there, it leads you to have a more content life. I think And so that's why people are comfortable with spending upwards of $13,000 for a virtual property, because they know that they might be able to either make that money back, right, or it's just a good investment in it, because we don't know I don't know the trajectory. I mean, we could look at stats and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, because our lives in real life, and this is, I guess, my next point, but I'm going to start with, because our lives are so attached right now as a society, our lives are so attached to reality that it'll be hard, right? A lot of us grew up before virtual reality was a thing, right? So we have our connections in the real world, and not all of us are going to be willing and committed to putting 13,000 fucking dollars down for a headset, VR, real estate, things of that nature. So it's gonna be, I don't know, maybe for the younger generations, but even for them, they still have to go to school. I don't see VRs going too far into the future, but for what they are, for the reason that that a lot of people find them obsessive, like even just like connecting with people, you're able to connect with people on a level that I will say is not a physical, obviously not a physical, but a emotional and mental connection. And a lot of times that's what you can go, that's all you can go off on VR. So that's where the positive of that comes in, because I guess the way I'm trying to say it is, like, a nigga's avatar will be like Broly or like an anime girl, but that's not what, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really not really based off the attraction. It's like that'll be their anime avatar, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But those people's personality is what you have to go off of, because you're in virtual. Y'all not really doing no objective based shit sometimes. Like in some of these chat rooms, at least, people aren't really doing objectives. Like, oh, we gotta build something. Like, they're not building or mining. They're just talking to each other, right? And since you can't see that person, you have to go off of the next best thing is just conversation and personality. And I think for a lot of people, it's easier for them to almost, I guess how some people say, like in basketball, the NBA bubble, it was easier for players to be better because there wasn't a lot of expectation or like the fans and all the yelling and stuff that comes with that, because some people believe in home court advantage. I don't in certain sports, right? Like, I don't believe in that. And not to go off on a complete tangent, but for some people, reality and dealing with real people is just, it's so much. It's so much for them that dealing with them on a scale where you can't necessarily see them, but you can hear them, is vastly easier. It's vastly easier because you don't have to. It's like talk. It's like the bubble. It's like talking in front of people with social anxiety, or even like me. I have bipolar depression, and like my mind is always working and it's always running, right? So like in real conversations that I have, because I don't have a fucking VR, those conversations, when I'm talking to a motherfucker, I'm analyzing everything that this their body language, their face, their their reaction to me, their eyes, whether they're planning on me or they're rolling or they're disengaged. You know what I'm saying? Like, I stare at people to analyze their face, so that if there's something that, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm always thinking. It's the anxiety, it's the bipolar, it's all of it. And it's like a concoction of me in social situations where I'm just staring and I'm just like, it's so draining and daunting. And the thing is, it's like, why can't you stop, Malik? Why don't you just fucking stop? Like, bro, trust me, nigga. Like, I be trying my ass off to stop. Just stop trying to psychoanalyze people, to analyze situations beyond what it is. I can't stop that, right? But I would assume for me in a virtual reality world, I would assume that it's so much easier because, like, even on Xbox, I don't really be thinking about, like, when I'm talking to my friends, I don't be thinking about what their face is when they say something, like, unless, like, we joking around or something and you can kind of hear a nigga smile. Like, you know how you can kind of hear a nigga when they smiling. I guess y'all could probably tell I'm smiling right now, but, like, you kind of can hear when a nigga smile or whatever. Like, but for me, on Xbox, just for me, I get on sometimes just to talk to my friends, right? I don't even be doing objectives. So, like, I can see how, like, a headset it's the same shit as, like, Xbox, but it's more immersive. Like, you go in there, you talk to your friends, y'all do shit, y'all play games, you make it what you want to. Some niggas get on Xbox to make money. Some people get in VR to make money. Like, the dude that literally, he sits in a VR for 24 hours a day. He streams himself doing it. So he's making money on the out. That's why I like to kind of double back to my point of, like, to kind of hammer down on why I don't think it's feasible for everybody. The only reason that nigga is able to do that is because he really only one of the only motherfuckers who can tolerate sitting in a VR headset for 24 hours a day. He don't take it off. He go to sleep in that motherfucker. He wake up in there. He eating that motherfucker. He does that shit. He lives the VR headset life, and it's ridiculous. 24 hours a day. I mean, obviously probably not 24, probably like 23. You know, who knows? Who knows what the real number is? But for the majority of the day, I'd say 22 hours plus, this motherfucker is in a VR headset. That's not going to be for all of us, right? But I can see, like, how a motherfucker would put it on and forget about life maybe for 12 hours a day or 6 hours a day. Because I done play Xbox, like, I done play Ark. I don't know if y'all know what that is. I'll explain that. It's a video game. It's like Minecraft, but it's like a lot more advanced graphic wise. It's a little more, it's a lot less simple. Like, if Minecraft, I would say, like, Minecraft is like an Atari version of Ark. And Ark is the Xbox One version and PS fucking 4 and whatever. Pick your poison. Essentially, you have to do everything. You have to tame your animals. You have to sit there and feed them. You have to virtually feed your animals or they'll die for real life hours, bro. I spent, like, okay, in the beginning of the pandemic, I played Ark all day, like, every day. It was like a job. It was a job for me. It was a job. Everybody was worried about whether we was gonna die, and I was worried about whether I could feed my pterodactyl berries or not. Okay, because for literally 8 hours of my real life, I was sitting on a video game, hitting right bumper and left bumper, getting materials to build for my clan, for my group, my friends. Because we had to survive. We literally just had to survive. And I lost track of time in there some days because I was objective based, and I wouldn't even say we was having a good time. It almost became like a like habit. Like just literally just like every day it was like, get on, go do what you got to do. And I can see how some people would get sucked up in that, but I don't see how everybody can get sucked up in it. And for me, another point of interest in it is when, like, I guess the the psychological effects, not the psycho. The psychological effects of it is like some people are gonna have a very hard time, even if the power goes out. Like, let's say, like right now in my state, we going through what we like to call brownouts or whatever. So like random spots of losing power. Some of these niggas are gonna lose power and have zero inclination of what the fuck to do in reality at some point, right? Right. So I feel like it's a bad idea to go forward with this in the future because I mean you're gonna have to recharge it or plug it in at some point. Or you know what I'm saying? Like at some point you're gonna run out of batteries or whatever. You're gonna end up a crackhead. You're gonna end up a VR crackhead. I really do believe that. I don't think that it's just feasible. I mean, even if the batteries are in there, what if you can't afford it because your ass is in there all day and you don't have a job? Because like it just there's just so many what ifs to like it. I genuinely don't. I think you'll suffer from withdrawal because it seems like it's like a video game. And if you're not like, I don't know, anything can become an addiction. I think putting on a headset for 12 hours is an addiction. I think, yeah, while you can be happy with your friends and you can make new friends, you make friends in VR to bring them into real life. That's how I feel. I feel like most humans crave interaction, like human interaction. Yeah, I get virtual, but most people probably crave human interaction where like, I know people I date online. Like I've had online relationships, but all mine are like, mine ain't like, oh, I want to be like online for fucking 7 years and then we could just meet up, you know, because I trust you. No, like we're probably going to meet up within the first year of us talking. Like that's the point of talking online. Like it's, you know, to help you if you're not really good with talking to people in real life. Like I'm okay with talking to people in real life and online. Like I feel like you shouldn't make that your whole personality because psychologically I don't think you can recover from that because that's like, I don't know, to me, and I could be completely wrong about this, right? I feel like that's like taking any type of like a cub from a mom and put like in a zoo and putting them in a wild habitat, right? Like from a zoo to a wild place. Like that's why I feel like if you take a dude out of VR headset and he's too addicted to it, put him back into reality, it's gonna be hard because he go, like, his car's out here. I gotta walk. Like I gotta like take a shower. Yes, nigga, you have to do these things because you stink. You stink. We can smell you out here. We can actually physically touch you out here. And some people are lost in the sauce right now. They're literally like it's so easy to be addicted to some shit like that. It really is. There's no, oh my God, how could y'all do that? When you look at it, it's very interesting and it's easy to get sucked in. But I don't think it should be our future. I don't think we should be hammering on VR the way we are. It's interesting. Make no mistake. We should all indulge in VR once or twice in our lives. But we shouldn't make that the new thing. Like niggas are spending $13,000 for virtual reality like properties. Which I'm not saying like, oh, it's stupid. Because it's not stupid. It's just crazy. It's just crazy because in our real lives, you shouldn't want to live next to a cockroach. You know what I'm saying? Some of these niggas got roaches in their houses. They don't even know it because they can't see them because they in VR. You shouldn't aspire to be doing that, and your other living conditions are very bad as well, right? Like I feel like you should handle your life in real life. It's not easy. It's not easy, but I don't think that you should just throw your real life away because like real life is like beautiful. Like looking at sunsets and feeling the sun hit your like skin and feeling like cool breezes and like in the middle of like fall and shit. Like on an October where you gotta wear your hoodie and the fucking, like, cause I live in the Midwest, like the sun is just so beautiful when it hit off the leaves cause they so golden and shit. You don't get to see that. Like you missing out. It makes no sense to be so indulged in it. Like people in these NFTs, people are obsessed. They're obsessed. They're literally obsessed with virtual reality. Because, like I said earlier, their life is a lot better. It's a lot better in there. But it's got a lot of, like, negative effects. And that's pretty much, like, kind of what I wanted to talk about today. And you got all these big-ass companies, like Facebook is kind of going into the metaverse. Like, niggas like Elon are interested in it, I guess. I mean, it's something that has the capacity to be bigger than what it is right now, but it don't make no sense for it to be bigger, right? It just don't make no sense. So we all have to see because it's still in its infancy. We'll see where it goes. Like honestly, as a unit, but my money is on. It'll be like the new Xbox. I mean, I don't really think. Like I said, people gonna be going crazy off that shit like that. But it'll be like the new Xbox. It'll be the new like luxury thing that people want to play. People want to get on the virtual, the VR headset, just be immersed. But that's it for that combo. Shit. But really, I hope everybody's been doing well. This probably gonna be, obviously it's a short one, a little shorter than the other ones, but yeah, the interactions are cool. The podcast is going good. Like I wouldn't say I'm like not interested in doing it anymore. I just been like, I've been trying to get my days down pat, and then, it's just been a couple things in and out of life, but I've been hanging in there, and I feel like overall, I'm pretty satisfied with the podcast. I think I'm gonna start having guests and shit. I'm gonna buy like another mic so I can start having guests. Even though I know gas prices about goddamn what $5 right now. I know that's wishful, but yeah, this nigga, we going through the inflation right now. We're going through it. Interestingly enough, I wonder. I guess they say gas prices have never been this high, but I feel like inflation is just. I can't solely put that on one president. Like I ain't gonna sit here and be like, oh, thanks, Brandon. I can't solely put inflation on one president because our debt has been growing before him, and it's gonna grow after him. Our debt, we accumulate so much debt as a country, like it's ridiculous. And on top of that, we be giving billions of dollars in aid to motherfuckers that don't need that shit. I'm sorry, like I get it. I get like the whole like war in the Ukraine. That shit awful, my nigga. But there's so much shit going on in our country. Like, not even just in urban areas. Like, you could be helping farming communities. You could be helping, like, the medical field. You could be giving back to the nurses. You could be giving back to the farmers, the firefighters. You could be giving back to people who do the jobs that really don't nobody else want to do, but they need to be done because they hold the structure of society together. You could give that money back to teachers, but here you are going to try to make an investment for a war. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much shit going on right now. Like, that's why I said earlier, like, niggas are discontent. Because in our lives, our jobs are beating us up. Our government slapping us in the face. They making us pay all these fucking taxes for these dumbass shits. They make us pay for stadiums. They make us pay for all these things, right? That are quote unquote public. I still gotta pay to get in the stadium. I can't get in the stadium when it's like, you know what I'm saying? I can't just walk in that bitch. Like, I really can't. Unless they have operating hours. I can't, it don't matter if it's public. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a fucking park. but it still come out your taxes. Like so many things come out of your taxes, and it's so expensive. The cost of living is so fucking expensive. It's so goddamn expensive. But motherfuckers just want to act like everything is so fucking cool. Like everything is so okay right now, and that's why people so discontent. It's just a lot going on. So it's just an interesting situation. Then you got like the finals and shit like that too, like the NBA finals. I be thinking I don't even know where the NHL is. I was mad after the Leafs lost, but I thought I would see more highlights of the NHL. But the algorithm, they're just such an irrelevant league that the algorithm just pushes them to the fucking bottom. Like I think Tampa might three-peat, and this should be a bigger story than what it is. But nobody gives a dog fuck. Nobody gives a dick about it because it's the fucking hockey leagues. There's so many interesting things going on. The finals are going on. You got fucking the Warriors blowing fucking fourth quarter leads and shit. I mean, I don't think I think it'll be a good series because both teams are good. Honestly, I really do think both teams, but I think the Warriors have experience. They've been down 3-1. They've been up 3-1. They've been up 2-0, been down 2-0. These niggas have pretty much seen every scenario in the playoffs. They got about 128 games between that team, so they pretty much know how to play ball and they know how to play it in any situation. So it really boiled down to experience for me. But yeah, this is the 9th episode. Pretty cool shit so far. Pretty cool shit. Like I said, I like the way everything going. Y'all niggas ain't gonna see me on holidays. Don't look for my podcast on Christmas. Motherfucker, you not getting it. That's not your gift. Shut up. Oh, shit. But, yeah, like I said, like, I wanted to talk about this because I think it's interesting. It's so fucking crazy. Like, all of it. All of that shit, man. Niggas is putting on VRs. Just living their lives, bro. So, I hope y'all have a good week. We'll talk about something next weekend. So, I'll see y'all then. Y'all have a good week. And, yeah.